Right, lads, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. Arsenal have beaten Tottenham Hotspur 3 goals to 2 at the White Hart Lane. Difficult game, Navi ending to the game. Obviously, we led 3 goals to 0 at half time, and that should have done the deal. But Spurs always we're gonna find a way back into the game. We'll talk about the mistake by Dwyer. We'll talk about the Declan Rice penalty. We'll talk about Spurs falling away in that first half. And I thought Arsenal, the way we approached the game was absolutely superb. You've got to kill that game before halftime, and that is what we did. Mikel Arteta deserves a lot of credit, and obviously the players as well. If you want to go and win the title at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, or if you want to continue your title run at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, that is not an easy job. You've got to go and you've got to be different. And I thought Arsenal, of all things that we did in this game, we were different. We were very clinical, and that is something that anyone out there is going to credit us for. We were very clinical. Chances came and we absolutely took them. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. Let me know who was your man of the match in this one, because I'm kind of mild into mixed reactions. I have this second half, which was really poor from Arsenal. Tottenham really capitalizing on our ineffectiveness and our lack of ambition to go in front. And then I have this first half where Arsenal sat in shape but created a lot of trouble for Tottenham, especially on set pieces and also on the counter attack where the goal actually came from. So I'm in between there. But for my man of the match, I think I'm going to go with the Bukayo Saka. I think I'm going to go with Saka because I thought Saka today in this game has been very active. The goal, sublime. Purely sublime. I love this performance. I love this energy. I love this tenacity. And I love the fact that as a player, he has turned up on a big occasion, away from home, on a stadium where Arsenal, by the way, don't have very good history. On a stadium where Arsenal don't have, we don't have a lot of good, good memories when we travel to Spurs. And in a game that decides a lot, in a game that meant that it was going to be Navi, it was going to be, we are going to be under pressure, again, Bukayo Saka has stepped up. We have not seen such a good performance from Bukayo Saka in a while now, right? The team has been performing very well. The team has been on fire, but Saka has not been that good. But today, he was that good, and I think he deserves to be mentioned as man of the match on this podcast. Right, so let's get into it. Let's start off with the first half, because that is where Spurs, for me, got it wrong, and that is where Mikel Arteta got it right. So when we did how to beat Spurs, if you watch that video, because I saw it got a couple of views, which I really liked, and I said this: there are 3 ways to hurt Spurs. 1, it's on the break, and we did that with the second goal. Bukayo Saka is a very good ball into him, and he's isolating Ben Davies, who in my opinion had a really terrible game against Saka. He isolates him, boom, bang, it's a goal. Secondly, I say this: set pieces and long balls are a problem for Spurs, and I say that. I remember quoting the 4-0 defeat that they suffered against Newcastle. And I said, in that game, every single corner that was thrown onto the penalty area, there was a first contact of a Newcastle player. What did we see today? Every single first ball that Arsenal had, whether it was a cross or not, we were always fighting to get there. And we got goals through that. They did concede one goal from a corner against Newcastle. They conceded 2. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, by the way, who I thought was good today, conceding an own goal. And obviously, the king, Kai Havertz, who I predicted at the beginning of this season that would have as many goals as 15, for Arsenal, scoring once again. So I think Mikel Arteta has been spot on in this game. I don't have any, I do have my problems with him, especially in the second half, taking off Martin Odegaard for Kivio. I kind of felt like that was unnecessary. But in terms of how we approached the game, that is how we had to approach the game. That is the only way you beat Tottenham Hotspur. They play a high line. They are very, very fragile when it comes to corners, and they really have troubles when you isolate their players, and they have problems with long balls. Did Arsenal do that? Yes, we did, and we won the game. And let me tell you this. For me, Gabriel Jesus, this is his game. Gabriel Martinelli, this is his game. Jorginho, this is his game. And all these players didn't play. And I know why Mikel Arteta didn't play them, because he wanted to go with assurance. He wanted to go with quality assurance. He wanted to know that if I have a Kai Havertz up top and he gets a chance, he is going to bury it. And we saw that he buried one, which was offside, and then we got the chance to bury the header. He actually does. The same with Partey. Defensively, you have that quality assurance in midfield, and of course he gave us that quality assurance right until the end. And I know why Jorginho didn't play, and I know why Jesus didn't play. But I don't want anyone coming onto this video saying, well, because you said we should be playing Jorginho, and Partey played and we won the game. I'm gonna say this: if Jorginho plays this game, Arsenal score more goals. I don't think it's the same defensively. I think defensively, Spurs in that midfield, they would have perused through, right? But again, Jorginho is not that bad, in midfield. I don't want you guys to say, well, Cossy, Jorginho is not that good. He's actually not that bad, right? But Arsenal would have scored more goals. Arsenal would have exposed that high line better and more times and on more occasions if Jesus started in front of Trossard or Martinelli started in front of Trossard and Jorginho had started. But anyway, let's get away from that. Let's talk about the performances, right? So if you're going for the title, the performances that are going to win you the title. And we always say this, that this is one of the performances that Arsenal will look back to and say, if we win the title, it was at Spurs away. If we win the title, it was at Manchester City away. If we win the title, it is the point we got at Anfield away. If we win the title, it was that, those 1, 2, 3 performances that you can put together, and they were absolutely magic. This performance for me was absolutely magic. We showed that we wanted it. We showed that we deserved it. We earned it. And that is one thing that Arsenal have failed to do on a couple of occasions. When we were fighting for top 4 against Antonio Conte's Tottenham Hotspur, we failed to earn it. When we were fighting for the title against Pep Guardiola's Manchester City last season, we failed to earn it, right? We did beat Spurs and we did beat Newcastle away from home, but guess what? We failed to beat Southampton. We failed to beat Everton. We failed to earn it. This season, in my opinion, Arsenal are earning the right to be in the title race. Arsenal are earning to be the right to be on top of Man City and to be on top of Liverpool, although City have a game in hand. The clinical nature of this team is what I want us to talk about in detail, because time and time again I've said this team is not taking the chances. This team is not scoring when they need to score. Today, we even took half chances and we scored, because listen, Saka could have decided to wait for support. He doesn't. He goes himself, brave, and buries it, right? Kai Havertz, that's not have a chance. That's a really, really good chance. And I think it comes from the fact that Ben White is troubling Vicario. Right, he's stood in front of Vicario and he's blocked Vicario's view, and Vicario is struggling to get in front of Ben White, and the chance comes in and Kai is there, and make no mistake, the quality of the finish is absolutely sublime. And of course, Spurs have been exposed. Ange Postecoglou has been exposed. So let's talk about Spurs a little bit before we get into some of the key performances. Let's talk about Spurs a little bit. Credit to Tottenham Hotspur, because they played a good game. They absolutely played a good game. If you look at the statistics of this game, Tottenham Hotspur deserve something out of this game, and they almost got something out of this game, right? They almost got something out of this game. So, in terms of possession, Spurs 63% possession, 555 touches in that game, 89% ball passing accuracy. 14 shots on goal, 2 on target. This is how good Spurs were. Spurs dominated Arsenal in each and every aspect. More corners, more shots, more everything, right? And when I say that Arsenal were clinical, this is what I mean. Arsenal had 3 shots on target, and all of them ended up in the back of the net. All of them ended up in the back of the net. Now, if that is not clinical, I don't know what is, right? If that is not clinical, I don't know what is. And I think Tottenham Hotspur, they will feel a little bit hard done by. They should have gotten a penalty before our second goal, right? Because Dejan Kulusevski is, I think there is, a mistake from Trossard who clips him and he goes down late. And we are lucky. We are very lucky that that is not the penalty. And of course, they had the goal disallowed for offside, which was by fine margin. So credit to Spurs, they gave us a good game. They gave us a reason to fight. And I think if you beat Tottenham Hotspur under these circumstances, please and please, you've got to go and trash Man United. You've got to go and ridicule Bournemouth. Because it's the fine margins and it's the small games and it's the easy opponents that are actually now remaining, and it's the easy opponents that are actually going to matter. We know Spurs have more quality than Man United this campaign, but that doesn't really right away, write off Manchester United. They're still up there as one of the fiercest rivals of Arsenal Football Club. So credit to Spurs, good game. I think they knew where Arsenal were going to hurt them, and the problem with Ange Postecoglou's side is they have so many weaknesses. Arsenal are always going to exploit, one or the other. Like, corners are your weaknesses. Long balls are your weaknesses. I thought Mickey van der Ven was really good today. But long balls are your weaknesses in behind. 1v1s are your weaknesses. It was always going to be one or the other mistake, one or the other weakness exploited. And Arsenal exploited what they could, and we left what we couldn't. Now, 3-0 at half time, 3-2 at full time. That is unacceptable. Honestly, that is unacceptable. There are 2 things Mikel Arteta annoys me with. Number 1 is trying to defend games even when he knows that apart from William Saliba and Gabriel, there is no other quality defender that comes onto that pitch. No other quality defender comes onto the pitch. And he tries to pack in defenders. He will panic, bring on Rob Holding. He will panic, bring on Kivior. They are not adding any quality. For me, this would have been the approach to the second half. And this was Mikel Arteta's approach. Let's go there and keep a clean sheet. Right? Let's sit in shape. Let us make sure that we don't give away chances. In a game like this, in a London derby, you don't expect Spurs to sit back. This is not Chelsea. This is Tottenham. They hate us. They loathe Arsenal. So, for you to go, we are just going to sit back, right, and make it difficult like we did in the first half, where you're lucky, you have a 3-goal advantage. When they swing a blow at you, can you please swing a blow back? That is what I would have expected out of the second half. I wanted the second half to be entertaining, a 2-2 draw, a 3-3 draw in the second half. I don't care if this game ended 10-7, 11-9. I don't care. But I wanted us to go out there and I know this is stupid because when you're 3-0 up, all you've got to do is make sure that you don't open up yourselves. And I know Mikel Arteta was right. But it was nervy. It was painful to watch. It was heart-aching, that performance. That performance could have, if that game continues for another 4 minutes, Spurs get an equalizer. So I don't agree with the tactics we went with in the second half of just trying to keep a clean sheet, of just trying to stop Spurs. What happened for Arsenal now saying, listen, we have 3 goals up at your own stadium. The negotiation tactics are changing. The ransom is increasing, right? Because we kidnapped them at halftime. We absolutely kidnapped them. So the ransom must increase in the second half. What did we do? We kept the same ransom in the second half, and we actually reduced the value, and we were less threatening in our in our quest. Our voice was less threatening on the phone while we were asking for ransom. It is either, right? It's either you pay up or as simple as that. And I didn't like it. I really, really didn't like it. It was Navi. It was really, really Navi. But overall, a very good performance. That means that Arsenal now go for points clear of Manchester City, who have 2 games in hand. One of those games will be Tottenham Hotspur. Here, we have seen how good Spurs are. And I won't be surprised if Man City beat Spurs. But for me, the next 2 games for Man City, Fulham and Nottingham Forest. They win those 2 games, their chances of winning the title raises to 99%. Right now, it's at 89, not really 89, but it's at 95%. So, we wait to see what comes out of this Manchester City game this evening. I'm going to be doing the player ratings, obviously, the 5 things we learned, and the Mikel Arteta press conference coming up for you. Make sure you hit the like button, you subscribe to the channel, and speak to you in a bit.